Isang video, isang pahayag. Pero ang mas mahalagang tanong ay hindi kung ano ang sinabi, kundi kung ano ang kailangan patunayan sa ilalim ng batas. Hello po mga ka-BH. Like many Filipinos, I've been following the impeachment trial and trying to understand ano nga bang nangyayari beyond the social media clips, beyond the sound bites, and beyond the headlines. Tara, sabay-sabay nating intindihin ang mga pangyayari sa impeachment trial Day 5. Let's break it down in the simplest and most practical way possible. My goal isn't to tell you what to think. My goal is simply to help all of us better understand kung ano nga bang nangyayari sa loob ng impeachment court so that we can form our own informed opinions. Kayo na po ang bahalang mag-decide kung ito ay makakatulong sa inyo. So let's begin. The issue yesterday was no longer about what Vice President Sara Duterte said. Halos lahat naman po tayo nag-agree sa sinabi sa video. Klaro po yun. The real question yesterday was this: has the prosecution already presented sufficient evidence para patunayan na kung ang sinabi ba ni Vice President Sara legally constitutes grave threats? Meron na po bang sapat na ebidensya para ma-impeach siya sa pamamagitan ng grave threats? Because in law, saying something happened and proving it under the law are not the same thing. And that distinction ang pinag-usapan sa hearing kahapon. Let's start with what I think is the foundation of yesterday's hearing. The defense, led by Attorney Mark Binluan, pointed out the controversial statement was made because a reporter asked a question. Pag-isipan po natin to, ha? If that question has never been raised, would that statement even have been made? So yun ang palaisipan sa ating lahat ngayon, pati ako napaisip doon. Now, let me be very clear. That does not automatically excuse what was said, ha? Don't get me wrong. Hindi ibig sabihin na dahil tinanong ka, okay na ang sagot. But according to the defense, it is relevant because it goes to the intent. Sa korte, ang pinapatunayan ay kung ano ang intensyon ng akusado. Was VP Sara deliberately trying to threat someone? Or was she simply responding, perhaps unwisely, to a question from the media? Kung walang tanong, baka wala ring sagot. That is one of the issues the Senate will eventually have to consider. From there, the discussion moved to another important legal question. Nagkaroon ng discussion about the difference between a warning and a threat. At first, they may sound the same. Pero sa batas, hindi laging pareho pala ang dalawang yun. Generally speaking, a warning tells someone something might happen. A threat generally involves communicating an intention to inflict harm. Kaya naging importante ang context. Ang tanong is not simply whether the statement sounded frightening. The question is, how should the law interpret it? The discussion then shifted to another key issue. Attorney Mark Binluan asked a simple but important question. Did VP Sara ever directly communicate the alleged threat to the president? There was no evidence that she called him, texted him, wrote him a letter, or personally sent him a message. Instead, the statement was made during a press conference. So the defense asked, is talking about someone automatically the same as threatening that person? Magkapareho ba ang may sinabi ka tungkol sa isang tao at tinakot mo ang taong iyon? The prosecution saw it differently. Ang argument nila, VP Sara spoke before television cameras and members of the media. Whether or not she personally contacted the president, it was reasonably foreseeable that her statement would eventually reach him. Kaya dito nagkaroon ng legal debate. But here's where I think yesterday's hearing became even more interesting. Nung nagtanong si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, he raised two questions. Marami sa ating nagtatanong. Ang unang tanong niya, kung naniniwala ang gobyerno na there was really an actual assassination plot against the president, why was the legal action focused on cybercrime-related charge arising from the publication of the statement? Bakit walang criminal case directly alleging an assassination plot? Yun basically yung unang tanong ni Senator Cayetano. Magandang tanong yun. Now, Senator Cayetano was not saying that a different criminal case should necessarily have been filed. His point was much simpler. Ano nga ba talaga ang theory ng gobyerno? Because if government truly believed that there was an actual assassination plot, then natural magtatanong yung mga tao, bakit ang focus ay nasa legal action on the publication of the statement rather than proving the alleged plot itself? Second, Senator Cayetano also asked if the NBI is treating the Vice President's statement, yung I already spoke to someone o may kinausap na ako, they took it as a factual statement. Then why are her other statements during the same press conference being treated differently? For example, meron siyang allegations involving the First Lady and Speaker Martin Romualdez. Now, to be fair, Senator Cayetano was not saying those allegations are automatically true. His point was simply this: ano ang basehan? Bakit yung isang statement ay treated na literal na totoo while the others are not? So, sino magsasabi, itong statement na to during press conference tama o totoo, itong isa hindi? So, bakit magkaiba ang trato? Kung factual lahat ng buong press conference, di dapat lahat ng sinabi ni Vice President factual din nagtitignan. Yun yung binring up ni Senator Cayetano. Sa madaling salita, kung pareho silang nanggagaling sa iisang press conference, ano ang legal na basihan sa magkaibang pagtingin sa iba't ibang bahagi ng kanyang statements? Those, I think, were very fair questions because they help us understand exactly what the prosecution is trying to prove and how it is evaluating the evidence. Finally, I think yesterday's hearing taught us one very important lesson about how our legal system works. Many Filipinos think that once the NBI says a crime has been committed, tapos na ang usapan. But that's not how our legal system works. The NBI investigates and makes recommendations, the prosecution presents the evidence, ang defense naman challenges that evidence, at ang Senado ang magpapasya kung napatunayan ba ang kaso. And remember, ang burden of proof ay laging nasa prosecution. The defense does not have to prove that the Vice President is innocent. Ang tunay na tanong is, has the prosecution already presented sufficient evidence to prove its case? Another point that caught my attention was the testimony of the NBI witness. Dun sa hearing kahapon, the witness acknowledged that he had no personal knowledge that anyone had actually been hired to assassinate the President. Sa madaling salita, he was not telling the Senate that he personally knew an assassin had been contracted. He was explaining the conclusions reached during the investigation. Bakit mahalaga ito? Our legal system distinguishes among three things. First, what a witness personally knows. Second, what investigators conclude. And third, what the Senate ultimately finds to have been proven. Magkakaiba ang tatlong iyon. The defense also reminded the Senate that Vice President Sara Duterte has consistently denied hiring anyone to kill the President. Whether the Senate ultimately accepts that denial or finds that the prosecution has proven otherwise will depend on all the evidence presented throughout the trial. Yesterday's hearing reminded us that investigations, opinions, and allegations are all part of the process. But ultimately, ang desisyon rests on evidence. So where does the case stand after yesterday's hearing? If I were to summarize yesterday's hearing in one sentence, it would be this. Yesterday's hearing answered one question, but left another. It answered whether the statement was made. The remaining question is whether the prosecution has already presented sufficient evidence to prove that the statement legally constitutes grave threats and rises to the level of an impeachable offense. Yun pa rin ang tanong nating lahat. At iyan ang tanong na patuloy pang sasagutin ng Senado. Before I end, one final reminder. Impeachment is one of the most serious powers entrusted by our Constitution. That's why every conclusion must be based on evidence, not assumptions, guided by the Constitution and grounded in the rule of law. Whether you agree with the prosecution or the defense is your decision. My hope is that today's discussion helped you better understand the issues because informed opinions are always better than rushed conclusions. Maraming salamat mga ka-BH, and remember, always go beyond the headlines because an informed Filipino is an empowered Filipino. So together, let us empower lives. Hanggang sa muli, I'll see you behind the headlines!